Imagine being offered easy money, money that could fix all your problems now. But deep down, you just know that taking it would cost you something much more important. Maybe a client asked you to cut corners. Perhaps you saw a way to overcharge someone knowing they wouldn't notice. Maybe you could give less than you promised and still get paid. In that moment, you have a choice: quick money today or a good name that lasts forever. This is the story of a young businessman who faced that exact choice. What he decided changed not just his business, but his whole life. Stay with me until the end. The lesson he learned might just save your business before it's too late. In a town called Ohio, not too big, not too small, lived a 28-year-old man named Marcus Hayes. 2 years before, Marcus had left his steady job as a mechanic at a car shop. He wanted to start his own business, fixing small engines. He rented a tiny garage on the edge of town. His sign read, "Hayes, honest repairs, fair prices, good work." Marcus truly believed in doing things right. When people brought in their lawnmowers, generators, or small machines, he took his time. He used good parts. He checked everything twice before giving it back. He charged fair prices, sometimes even less than others. His customers loved him. They told their friends. They wrote good reviews. But there was one big problem. Money was very, very tight. Marcus had taken out a small loan to start the business. Every month he had to pay the bank. Rent was due. Bills from his part suppliers were due. And while business was steady, it wasn't growing fast enough. He worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. His hands were always covered in black grease. His back hurt from bending over engines. Every night, after locking up his shop, he counted the money he made that day. And he worried. Quote 1, he would ask himself in the quiet garage. His girlfriend Sarah was a teacher. She believed in his dream, but she worried too. Quote 2, quote, she would say. Quote 3, quote, Marcus would shake his head. Quote 4, quote, but late at night, doubts crept into his mind. He saw other repair shops in town, shops with bright signs and full parking lots. He knew they didn't always do things right. They used cheap parts. They charged high prices for simple work, and they were doing well. Meanwhile, Marcus was barely getting by with his honesty. The question stayed with him. Was being honest a good business plan? Or was it just something he couldn't afford? Then, one Tuesday morning, everything changed. At 9 in the morning, a shiny black Mercedes pulled into Marcus's small parking lot. Out stepped a man in his 50s, wearing an expensive suit. His name was Richard Donovan. He owned 3 large buildings in town. The man asked. Richard pointed to the back of his car. Inside was a large, expensive generator. Marcus's heart beat fast. 2 times the price? That would cover half his loan payment for the month with just one job. He looked at the generator closely. He opened its cover and checked the parts. His stomach dropped. The generator needed a full overhaul. The engine was bad. The wires were broken. This was not a quick fix. This would take at least 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 days to do it correctly and test it well. Marcus looked up at Richard. Richard's face got tight. Marcus said. Richard moved closer, speaking in a quieter voice. __quote _12__. Marcus felt his pulse in his neck. 3 times the price? That was almost $2,000. That would fix his money problems right now. He could make his loan payment, pay his rent, maybe even have some money left over. And yes, he could technically do it. He could bypass the bad engine, rig the wires, use temporary parts. It would run, maybe for 3 weeks, maybe 4. long enough for Richard to sell the building and be gone. No one would ever know Marcus did a quick fix. His mind raced. $2,000 right now. Quote 13, he thought. Quote 14. The new owner would lose. The people living there would lose when the power went out. And Marcus would lose his own clear beliefs. Marcus looked at Richard, who was waiting for an answer, then at the broken machine, then at his own shop sign. Underscore underscore quote underscore 15 underscore 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 quote underscore 16 underscore underscore. Richard's face changed fast, from surprise to anger. What do you mean? You can't? I'm offering you 3 times the normal pay. I thank you for the offer, Mr. Donovan, Marcus said, but I cannot knowingly sell you a quick fix that will break soon. That is not who I am. If you want this machine fixed correctly, I will do it in 4 days. If you need it faster, you must find someone else. Richard's face turned bright red. Quote 21. He slammed his car trunk hard. He got in his car and drove away. Marcus stood alone in his garage. He watched the car disappear. His hands shook. He had just said no to more money than he made in a whole month. Why? For what he believed in. For a good name that was not even paying his bills. That night, Marcus could not eat. He could not sleep. He sat at his desk staring at his bank account. He wondered if he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. The next morning, tired and full of doubts, Marcus opened his shop at 7 in the morning. At 7:30, an old pickup truck drove in. Out stepped Frank Morrison, a farmer, 72 years old. He had been one of Marcus's first customers 2 years ago. But Frank did not leave. He looked closely at Marcus's face. You look unwell, son. What is troubling you? Marcus thought for a moment. Then, because he trusted Frank, he told him everything. The broken machine, the offer of 3 times the pay, his choice to say no. When he finished, Frank was quiet for a long time. Then the old farmer pulled up a chair. Marcus, let me tell you something I learned 50 years ago when I started my farm. There was this seed seller, a big company. They offered me a deal. Cheap seeds, half the price of good seeds. I had no money, just like you. I almost took it. But an old farmer told me something I never forgot. Frank reached into his pocket. He pulled out a worn coin. See this coin? This is what most people think business is about. Money right now. Quick profit, fast deals. He held up his other hand. It was empty. But what you cannot see, what is hidden, is a good name. And son, a good name is like money that grows. When you do honest work, you put money into a bank you cannot see, an invisible bank. Every customer you treat fairly, that is a deposit. Every time you tell the truth, even when it costs you, that is a deposit. And here is the thing about that bank, Marcus. It pays interest. Real return. Frank moved closer. That customer you turned away yesterday, he will tell people. Maybe he will tell them you are foolish. But some people, the right people, they will hear that story in a different way. They will hear about the mechanic who turned down $2,000 because he would not do bad work. And those people, they will come looking for you. Because everyone can find someone to take their money. But finding someone you can trust, that is rare. But Marcus, here is what you need to understand. Building a good name is slow. Destroying it is instant. Frank snapped his fingers. One dishonest job, one customer you cheat, one shortcut you take, and years of deposits are gone. The invisible bank is empty. That machine job, if you had taken it and it broke down on the new owner, how long before everyone in town knew? In a town this size? A week, maybe 2. Then what happens to Hayes Honest Repairs? That sign on your garage means something today. After one dishonest job, it would mean nothing. Marcus felt something change inside him. Frank pulled out a small notebook. He wrote 3 rules. Rule 1. Your good name is your most valuable thing. Protect it more than you protect your money. Rule 2. Choosing a small loss now for trust later is always the right choice. Rule 3. People who value honesty will pay for it. The people who do not were not your customers anyway. He tore out the page and gave it to Marcus. Son, you did something yesterday that most people cannot do. You chose the hard right thing over the easy wrong thing. That takes strength. Now here is what I need you to know. You will not see the reward tomorrow, maybe not next month, but I promise you, it is coming. Because the world rewards good actions, maybe not when you expect it, but it always rewards it. Frank stood up. My engine part can wait until tomorrow, but I want you to do something for me today. Write down every single customer you have ever had, every person who has come through that door. Then count them. That is your real bank account. Marcus, those relationships, that trust. Never trade that for quick money. He walked to his truck. Then he turned back. And Marcus, that man with the machine, call him back. Offer to fix it, Frank had told him, at your normal rate for 4 days, not 3 times the price. You are not trying to get rich fast. You are trying to build something that lasts. After Frank left, Marcus sat in his garage. He looked at those 3 rules. For the first time since yesterday, a true calm filled him. He knew he had made a good choice. That afternoon, Marcus called Richard Donovan. Mr. Donovan, he said, this is Marcus Hayes from the repair shop. I wanted to talk about your generator. Richard's voice was cold. __quote _40 __. Marcus said, __quote _41 __. There was a quiet moment. Then Richard hung up. Marcus felt a small sadness, but he had done as Frank said. He had kept true to his beliefs. The next 2 weeks were tough. Business did not get better quickly. Money was still tight. Marcus still worried about paying his loan. But one thing was different. He worked with a clear mind. He slept better. When people came into his shop, he looked them in the eye. He had nothing to hide. 3 weeks later, Marcus was closing his shop. A woman walked in. Quote 42, quote, she asked. Quote 43, quote, he replied. Quote 44, quote. Marcus looked at the mixer. It needed a new motor. This would be a very costly fix. Quote 45, quote, he said. Quote 46. Jennifer looked at him. Quote 47. Quote 48. Jennifer slowly smiled. Quote 49, she said. Quote 50. Over the next month, 5 new business clients called Marcus. All of them mentioned Jennifer or Frank or someone who had heard about the mechanic who said no to $2,000. 12 weeks after their first talk, Richard Donovan's fancy car pulled into Marcus's parking lot again. Richard stepped out, looking humble. In his car trunk was the generator. Quote 51 Richard said softly. Quote 52. He looked at Marcus. Quote 53. Quote 54. Quote 55, Richard asked. Quote 56. Richard watched Marcus work for 2 hours that day. He watched him carefully check every part. He watched him not rush. Before leaving, Richard said, Quote 57, quote 58, quote, Marcus asked, quote 59, quote. 6 months after saying no to $2,000, Marcus hired his first employee. His parking lot, which used to be empty, now had a waiting list. His monthly income had grown 3 times, not because he charged more, but because his good name brought customers who valued honesty. Business owners, property managers, people who were tired of being cheated and overcharged, they all looked for the mechanic who had said no to quick money to protect his good values. Marcus drove to Frank's farm one Saturday morning. Mr. Morrison, he said, I wanted to thank you. That talk we had changed everything. Frank smiled. I did not change anything, son. I just reminded you of what you already knew. You are the one who was brave enough to keep going when it was hard. How did you know it would work out? Marcus asked. Frank softly laughed. Because I have been watching people in business for 50 years, and I have never seen someone protect their good name and fail. Never. It might take time, but the world always rewards being honest. Marcus pulled out his wallet. In it was the old paper Frank had written with the 3 rules. I look at this every morning. Good, Frank said. Do not ever stop. My friend Marcus's story teaches us something every successful person knows, but most people forget. In business and in life, you are always adding to or taking from your good name. Every promise you keep, that is adding. Every time you tell the truth when a lie would be easier, that is adding. Every moment you choose long-term trust over quick money, that is adding. But every shortcut you take, that is taking away. Every customer you cheat, that is taking away. Every time you give up your values for fast cash, that is a huge taking away. Most people only learn this when it is too late. You can spend many years building a good name and lose it all with one dishonest choice. Studies show it takes 12 good experiences to fix one bad one. In business, this is even worse. One customer you trick will tell 10 people. Those 10 people will tell 10 more. Soon, 100 people know you are not honest. But one customer you treat well, he might tell 3 people. Maybe. The numbers are harsh. Bad acts spread faster than good ones. That is why keeping your good name is not just right, it is smart. There are only 2 kinds of businesses in the world. First, businesses that want quick sales. They want your money now. Tomorrow, you can go somewhere else. They do not care. They will cut corners, charge too much, even lie if needed. They only think about this week, this month. Second, businesses that build connections. They want your trust today, so you will return next year, and even 10 years from now. They will lose a little money now to keep their good name for a long time. Marcus chose the second type. And while the first type of business runs fast for a short time, the second type wins the long race. So here is your task. Here is how you build a good name that becomes your biggest helper. First step, know what you will never change. Write down 3 things you will always stick to, no matter how much money is offered. For Marcus, it was honest work, fair prices, and good results. What are yours? Write them down. Put them where you see them every day. Because when it is hard to say no, and it will be hard, you need to remember what you believe in. Second step, let your good name be your goal. Stop only looking at how much money you make. Start asking, did I make my reputation better or worse today? After every talk with a customer, every business choice, every tough decision, ask this. Money goes up and down. A good name grows and grows. Third step, think long-term. Next time someone offers you fast money that means doing something you know is wrong, remember Marcus. Remember that $2,000 could have ruined his whole future. Figure out the real cost. Not just what you get now, but what you might lose later. Frank told Marcus something I need you to hear. Your good name is the only thing you truly own that no one can take from you. But it is also the only thing you can ruin yourself in just one moment. Think about that. You can lose money and get it back. You can lose time and fix things. But lose your good name? You might never get it back. So, I ask you today, what are you building? A business that makes money fast but vanishes in 5 years? Or a story that lives on after you because people trust your name? Are you chasing quick sales or building strong connections? Are you protecting your good name like the valuable thing it is? Or are you selling it for little? If Marcus's story spoke to you, if you believe a good name matters more than fast money, I want you to do something now. Hit that like button. But first, promise yourself this. I will protect my good name starting today. Then leave a comment. Tell me, have you ever stood between quick money and lasting trust? What did you pick? Or, if you have not faced it yet, what will you pick when it comes? Let us build a group of people who value honesty over riches. Share this video with someone in business who needs this lesson. Maybe a friend who is skipping steps. Maybe a new business owner just starting. Maybe someone about to make a choice they will regret. Because this message could save their business, their good name, and their peace of mind. Remember Frank's words. Your good name is like money that keeps growing. Guard it more than your actual money. Marcus said no to $2,000. 6 months later, that choice was worth $200,000. What choice will you make today that your future self will thank you for? Your good name is watching. Make it proud.